Charlie Brown Jr., Fernando, Tajir McCall, and Nick Ward, same starting group as last game, to continue to grow his skill set. And Fernando wins the opening tip for Atlanta. Variable skill set as well, having to play multiple positions. Brown cans the three. It's cleared by Matthews, who gives it up for Hachimura.
Rui loves the mid-range.
Working against Nick Ward, steps through from 15. McCall from three, and hits from the same spot. Hachimura, number 8 in white, top of the screen.
Yeah.
His biggest growth over the course of his last year at Gonzaga.
Well, the biggest growth came from coming to America.
There's Robinson, who missed a good chunk of time, got injured in February, rolled his ankle against Miami, but was able to come back late in the year. He dishes it off for Matthews.
One of the things Justin Robinson does so well is read pick and roll. He got into the lane, drew a couple of defenders, but he always knew he had the bailout pass to Matthews in that other corner. In case of an injury, also a guy that can run your scout team and have that professional mentality, which he already has.
Yeah, assistant coach Orlando Vandross last week about DeAndre's growth over the course of his career. There's one part A, that's the physical aspect of it. He went from about 109, a very outspoken guy. I think that on that team, Kyle Guy was certainly one of those who was more of the face socially of the program. But it was his official visit. He had a UMBC, but that's certainly one of the big reasons that he wanted to return, was to come back and get that opportunity in the postseason. And they ended up winning the national championship. Atlanta was down. They've now surged back to take a 1-point lead. Three-pointer smooth. No double dribble as it got tipped away. And it's Mooney cashing it in from... Trying to find the open man. Seibert drives the lane and leaves it off for...
Reset button and build this thing through the draft. So we started accumulating picks. And we feel real fortunate about the way the last few drafts have played out for us. Things we focus on. So when my guys go to college practices, how these guys interact with the assistant coaches, how they interact with their teammates, how they interact with officials during games. You know, that's one of the big as well.
The growth of John Collins from where he was lightly recruited coming out of high school to a quick career in college. I listened to him on Zach Lowe's podcast talking about he really never...
Things that we really love about John is you think back to when he was a freshman at Wake and he was just an energizing bunny out there. And then you saw the growth to his sophomore year and now all of a sudden he's a 20.
I think that's somewhat unique.
Yeah, well, he already knows what he knows. And what you want to do is find out what your other guys know.
This kid, McCall at the line, 24 years old. No good on the second, but grabs his own rebound. Gives it off to Fernando, who's turned away as he tries. Justin Robinson, whose career came to an end in Washington, D.C. in the NCAA tournament.
He's got to make that shot. If you're going to play in this league at his size, he has to be able to make that open three.
Averaged about 5 points a game last year with Los Angeles. Team in the league right now, here in Las Vegas, the Aces off to a 10-5 start. Asia Wilson, formerly of South Carolina, leading the league in scoring. Robinson, the good eye. Hachimura gets it into 14 feet and connects.
Pretty good. Good shot fake.
Mura, who was walking in socks on the beach, and it was tongue-in-cheek of how he was like, yeah, no, I don't really understand anything you're saying, but I'm enjoying this.
Well, I'll tell you what, Hachimura, he's going to make pretty good money with that first NBA contract, but he's going to make way more money in all those endorsements when you got a star in your role. And you can make a lot of money in this league.
Can that be the difference between a long and prosperous career and a shorter one? Is height of a basketball player, but like you said, not somebody who people are going to pick up on right away.
You know, he's a great story because he played in Luxembourg, okay? Now, Luxembourg and Green Bay. In Luxembourg, next thing you know, he's in the NBA Finals. And it goes back to what I said, run your own race. Look at this. Now, when he adds that, Wall, with skill. And he's just learning the game. That's what you like about that kid.
Adams had a little bit of space. Adams got by Hachimura, gives it to Ward, who's double teamed on the baseline, but spins out and finishes.
An NBA athlete right now, but just trying to show his wares.
Do you think with another, wow, what a block by
Man in college basketball this season.
First native of Angola chosen in the NBA draft, and as you mentioned before, 22.
Bringing in players like Rui and Admiral and Justin from winning programs that have been coached, that have been in college for a long time, that know how to defend. It just makes such a difference.
Like for him, he's a very gregarious guy. Like you said, no good days, no bad days. Everything's great. What has the reception been like from the fan base to a guy?
For everybody, but you know, the fans in DC, they really, really value players that work hard, that play the right way, and he does all those things. So he just buried a three and pointed at us.
Sanan, he was talking to the Washington Post. He said he got a little bit better at learning English by watching Prison Break.
Yeah.
So however you get there, right?
Yeah, I don't know if they'll teach that
in front of him. So that was that's good to see. Nice.
All the way to the basket for the 19-year-old Sanan.
Spokane last October, you could tell there was a definite improvement in his ability to shoot that ball.
Schofield.
Bench.
I only got to make his debut Monday with the completion of the Anthony Davis trade. There's three from Cyber.
Excuse me, not Washington, but Golden State.
Trent, we talk a lot about age. Copain, 2 years out of college.
Every team's in a different spot. You know, where the NBA is right now, if you think about it, is teams, the future is now, right? For the Lakers, the Clippers, the Nets. Then the future is the future for teams like... again, you always like to watch players against the best players they'll play during the season. Really nice move there. Sweet move by Bruno for Cam Reddish and
R.J. Barrett.
And R.J. Barrett.
We only saw about 10 minutes of Zion after recovering from surgery, not playing at all in Summer League. I'll tell you what, no matter where Zion goes for Fran Fraschilla with you here at the Thomas and Mack Center. Atlanta up by 2, and Hachimura evens the score. He continues.
George. And no major professional league is like the NBA in that the players are basically business partners with the owners, right? The great players in this league right now, LeBron, Steph, Klay Thompson, Paul George, these guys are business partners now. Paul George wanted out. He wanted to go to the Lakers with Kawhi Leonard. And Sam Presti had to trade him. Point of signing a max deal thinking that you have a guy locked up for a while, and then he wants out. And the better the player you are, the more power you have. And there's not necessarily anything wrong with that, unless it hasn't worked out this summer.
Do you think that'll change the way that teams approach seasons to say, hey, well...
Ball from the outside, so R.J. Barrett, Elfrid Payton, Julius Randle. The floor is going to be shrunk this year in New York. And yeah, they're on good execution by the Washington Wizards.
Robinson's got it. Hachimura runs the floor with him, absorbs the contact, and scores.
In the pudding. I mean, Jimmy Butler is a perfect example of a guy who was coached hard, who has blossomed into a great NBA player.
So without names attached, we talked about...
Don't like me. They do not, you know, I've got many friends who do it, but they're not all friendly with me.
Seibert looking for 3, and that brings this one to a close. Washington trailed most of the game, but some late free throws from Rui Hachimura.